Man, how y'all beautiful people doing today? It's your boy Drake, man. I'm back for another good little video. This is story time. Some of y'all might be new to story time. Story time is just when I just go off the dome. There's no edits. There's no many takes. I'm not trying to make it perfect and sound smart and intelligent. I'm not trying to sound all buttoned up and cool. I'm just shooting. I'm just talking and spitting. So some of y'all might like it. This might be more y'all speed. It's nice and chill and relaxed. But today, man, I'm gonna be talking about how I got into politics and also future plans for the career and the channel and all types of stuff. So y'all just sit back and chillax. Let me see. Well, the thing is, to put everything in perspective, bro. Around my age, 17 to 18 years old, kids starting to go off into the real world and become legal adults. A lot of us are just starting to become politically informed. Talking to a lot of my friends, they're finally starting to care about the things that I've been caring about for a long time. They start asking me questions and yo, so what you think about Biden? Or oh, so you a Bernie guy? Oh, okay. Tell me what he stands for. Yeah, they start doing stuff like that. And that was new for me because when I first got into high school and first got into middle school and stuff like that, I felt like a nerd. I never acted like I was a nerd. I tried to be cool and fit in and be popular and stuff. But behind the scenes, I was a nerd. I was such a political nerd. I was a junkie for it. I would eat up information. It was what I loved to do. It's still to this day what I love to do. I love staying informed. I love reading articles. I love watching Secular Talk, The Hill, TYT, Humanist Report, Rational National. Those are some of the channels I watch on a daily basis. I really love The Hill and Secular Talk. Those are my go-tos. And to this day, I love reading articles, Intercept, The Hill, New York Times, all types of stuff. And back then, when I was 10 or 11, that's when I really started getting into stuff, man. And it all started at this school. Some of y'all might know it's actually a really popular school. It's called the Ron Clark Academy, RCA for short. And I went there when I was in 5th grade. Before that, I gone to public school, and I was acing all my classes. I was quote unquote gifted, and it was boring, bro. I could not stand school, could not stand it. I would get in trouble. Sometimes I would get into fights and just goof off because I just hated school. I was so bored. So I asked my mom if I could apply to the RCA, Ron Clark Academy. It was a school across town, in a rougher part of town. I mean, we were already in a rough part of town. Rough part of town. And it was cool. They were all about revitalizing the community and giving back. And the school was crazy. You would walk inside the gates and there was a slide in the middle of the school, decorated with all these pictures and art, and it was just a dynamic type of place. In every classroom had a special theme. It was spray painted with rocket ships or Delta seats or math symbols and all and it was crazy. It was a beautiful place. You should look it up. It's called the Ron Clark Academy. They do a whole bunch of promotional stuff online still. And back when I was there too. So yeah, dog. I went there for a year and I met this guy named Mr. Clark, the head of the school, Ron Clark. And I was in his global studies class. It's a class called Global Studies. And in Global Studies, we would learn how the world works. Studying the globe, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole history course. We went from, it was it was a run through, it was easy breezy, history for dummies. Because, we're in 5th grade. And he went all the way back to the times of Sumeria and Mesopotamia and talking about how human civilization started getting started all the way until the present day. Then we got into the election. Around then, that was when the Obama-Romney election was heating up. So we were starting to talk about that. And it was crazy. It was blowing my mind. I was learning so much stuff. World War II, World War I, Great Depression, all the way back to the Revolutionary War, Civil War, all the way back to Egypt and Romans and Greeks. It was blowing my mind. Then I learned about politics. Oh my God. It was so amazing to me that people were being oppressed and there was injustice across the globe. Because to me, I'd never really seen that. As a child, you're naive. You kind of just go with the flow. You listen to whatever your parents tell you, and they try to protect you from that type of stuff. But I started seeing maybe why, kids in my neighborhood were starting to do the wrong things. Maybe why my family members were starting to do the wrong things. Maybe why, people were out of jobs and people used to cry about bills and all that types of stuff. I started seeing there was a link to it, and all had roots from an oppressive system, an imbalanced system. When I was awoken to that, dude, it changed everything to me. I started seeing that the system was the reason there was so much injustice and oppression and pain and anguish out there in the real world. And I was in the middle of it. I'm inner city Atlanta, with a single mother on a teacher's salary. She protected me from what she could. But, and I had a good family and a good upbringing. But you still see a lot of things. You still exposed to some things. You see the world for what it really is. Certainly not privileged by any stretch of the imagination. And I saw it all had roots to the system. And I started to hate the system. Hate it with a passion. You know what I started doing? When I was about 11, 12 years old, I started watching Kyle Kalinske, Secular Talk. Every day, I would get home from school off the bus and I would watch 2 hours straight of Secular Talk. Expecting he used to post like 8 to 9 videos a day. I watched all of them. Then once I found Secular Talk, I found the Young Turks. Started watching the Young Turks, watched them live. Then once I got into them, started finding all these other channels. And I started reading articles every single day. Then I was like, yo, I kind of like talking about this. Why don't I make a YouTube channel? When I was 12 years old, I made a YouTube channel called Progressive Talk Daily. All right. I would just post videos about issues I cared about. Talked about foreign policy, talked about healthcare, talked about education, all types of stuff. Then I changed the name to New Progressive Era when I was like maybe 13. Then a video blew up called Hillary Clinton versus Bernie Sanders. I was like, oh, okay. Running my mouth actually, it's actually kind of popular. People like what I got to say. So I'm reining in subscribers. Got to high school. I had to stop YouTube for a while. I couldn't do it consistently. But then I started going to debate. Started learning different perspectives, going to history classes and philosophy classes and all types of stuff. I became even more informed. My mind kept growing and growing. And I started having dreams of one day being president. Started having dreams of running for elected office, making change, running in the streets, helping lead movements and protests and demonstrations and sit-ins and strikes. I wanted to be active. I wanted to make change. I wanted to be part of the thing that helped unrig the system, help free people who lived in my community and in my city and all over this country and all over the world. And that's where I'm at today, man. And this is like a true love. It's a passion. Something I'm obsessed with, man. For real. And I think it's a beautiful thing. This is my passion. And, this gets to the whole shebang. I feel like if you don't have a passion, if you don't have something that you love and that you live for, I think you're living life the wrong way, man. I really do. I think you're just kind of floating. You got to find what you love. You got to find your passion. And you got to give your all to it. And once you give your all to it, you'll find success. You'll find some measure of success. You realize that life can be a beautiful thing when you have something that you really care for and you tend to it every single day. So moving forward, man, the plan, now I'm on coronacation. I don't know how long this quarantine's gonna last. I'm about to go off to college, have more resources available, have maybe more time on my hands. And I want to make this channel even bigger, right? I'm at 3.4K right now, subscribers. I want to expand and expand and expand. Stay consistent. Just keep pumping out quality content, like videos like this, but also the more serious topics. Move to a professional studio, get a whole shebang going with a whole mic and everything. That's gonna be coming soon. Get a nice little backdrop behind me so I'm not just recording against the wall in my room. Maybe one day create a whole radio show type of setting, but produced for YouTube. If I get that going, maybe get some guests on there, maybe even a co-host. That's the future plan, man. And from there, for me personally, even beyond New Progressive Era and what I'm trying to do with this brand, I want to become active. I want to join campaigns. I want to volunteer and intern for things like Justice Democrats, MoveOn.org, progressive organizations that are trying to make real change in people's lives. That's what I want to do, man. I love this stuff. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. It's what I do. And I've been that way for a long time. And I hope this my story and this whole thing kind of serves as, I don't know, an inspiration, or just kind of something cool for y'all to see. Because, you know, I think having a passion is a beautiful thing. Something that you love and that you're borderline obsessed with. It's a beautiful thing. Because you can tend for it and care for it and work hard for it every single day. It wakes you up and it makes you go to sleep. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And my specific passion, politics, that's something we should all at least have some part of us care for and keep an eye on. Politics controls the way this world works, controls all of our lives on the most basic, also the most complex levels. Politics is the center of how society works. You got to be involved. You got to care. You got to have your voice heard. So, with that, that's story time number 4. Hope y'all enjoy. Y'all keep tuning in for more quality content. Peace.
Yeah, we riding. Yeah, you know we vibing. Bitch, we just live.